Okay, I want to come out and talk to the people that voted for Biden, okay, that voted for the party of globalism, for the party of shutdown, for the party of contact tracing, quarantine camps, the party who's anti-human rights, who wants to take away the Constitution, take away our amendments, the party that protects pedophiles, the party of Jeffrey Epstein, okay, the party of Maria Abramovich. They go to these satanic rituals, okay, the party that their campaign members get arrested for smuggling children out of Haiti, okay, all giving power and governance to the UN. And that's admitted, that's what they want to do. The UN, who gets caught smuggling children through the white helmets. Sex trafficking. This is the party that you voted for. Okay? You sold this country out. All because you believe in state-sponsored media. Okay? CIA-controlled media. And that's not a conspiracy theory. You can look up a congressional hearing about Operation Mockingbird, where it was found out that the CIA has infiltrated the media, disseminating disinformation. And we already know, through Philip Mudd coming on national television saying that the intelligence agencies are going to get Trump out of office, however it needs to be done, judiciously or not judiciously. Chucky Schumer, that rat-faced Chucky Schumer, come out and say the intelligence agencies have 6 ways from Sunday to get into you. The same CIA that come out and say, what do we do as the CIA? We cheat, lie, and steal. And the CIA, we were taught to lie. That's who runs the media. And that's not a conspiracy theory. Okay? And these are the people that you believe when they get proven wrong over and over. Get us into fake wars. Bombing children. All to take all this money. And finally, we were getting out of all these wars. Okay? Trump goes over there and has a statement to the UN saying that the U.S. is going to end and oppose global governance. That means that our country is going to make our own decisions, just like what happened in Britain. Brexit was about Britain making their own decisions. Now, all those other countries that are over there in the UN is telling them what they should do with their country, bringing in all kinds of, radicals from every other country. And now they're having riots and terrorism in the streets, people being beheaded, beaten, and killed. Okay, that's their plan for America. All right, it's chaos ab ordo. Okay, they believe, these Satanists believe that they're going to create order out of chaos. That they're going to create so much chaos that they'll look to a authority figure to bring us all together under their rule, as long as they have, and this is what UN Agenda 2030 wants, is they want control over every financial institution, every technologies transfer, every piece of information. All right, all of that has to go through the approval of the UN and then redeployed. And this is, I'm paraphrasing, but this is what they say. Okay, so you want a group of unelected bureaucrats deciding what happens in every single country. This is what globalism is. And when George Bush talked about the New World Order, this is what they're talking about. Okay? And they go out and they have speeches and talk about, now under this new global government, we're going to decide what everybody eats and make sure that there's a world peace and nobody's going to starve because they're going to control all the means of production every financial institution. And when, just like the Bible says, when they say peace and safety, destruction will come onto you like a thief in the night. Okay? You're going to trust these Satanists to control every aspect of your life and give a cashless society, and then start microchipping your children. Okay, contact tracing, and just like in Australia, they're taking draconian methods to take care of a virus that is less deadly than any other pandemic. I mean, the H1N1 had like over 50% death rate. COVID is 2.2, and in Australia, they're throwing people into quarantine camps. Okay, because they went to McDonald's and they used the digital menu, and it has, you have to use a QR code and scan everybody there. And somebody had been in contact with the COVID person, and when they refused to be forcibly inoculated, they were thrown into a quarantine camp in Australia. And guess what? That is because they follow the rules of the UN. And guess what? That's what's going to be happening over here. Because Biden, he can't think for himself. He can't even think. He can't even speak. The dude is a lobotomy victim. Okay? I mean, he stumbles over his words. He doesn't even know where he's at half the time. He's not going to be making any decisions. It's going to be the UN making the decisions. Okay? And just like, I mean, look at the videos that they put up trying to promote their system and UN agenda, like Plandopolis, where nobody's going to be owning their own home, nobody's going to own their own car, there's going to be rationed out food portions for people. Okay, so you're going to get in, and I'm describing the video.
Hi. You ready to go? Have you got your calorie card open on your smartphone? I registered your visit with Slick Travel Corp the other day, so they've allotted you a journey time to match mine. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? Switch off brain and go to work. With this many people around, I'm glad there's a mega computer in charge.
Okay, you're going to get in, get up for work, and there's going to be a little handheld device telling you what your plan is. They're going to plan out your whole day. Okay, and you're going to jump into a self-driving car, and you're going to be taken straight to work. And then there's going to be a allotted amount of time where you can go to the grocery store, where they decide, what you can buy, what you can eat, what you can't eat. And there's going to be ration out meat, because people shouldn't be eating meat. That should be a luxury. And this is quoting them.
We're so lucky. Our kids were allocated a school quite near my practice, so I can drop them off on the way. It saves on our calorie ration. Well, it won't be long until the little darlings get their career announcements. They've been working so hard, so I'm sure they'll get something good. Not that there's anything wrong with fixing carbon scrubbers for a living or anything. Are you hungry? Let's pop to the market as we're passing. Right, what's on the menu this month? No, not meat. It's not your birthday. The Global Food Council are doing a really good job of keeping food production going. I mean, you don't get the choice you used to, but we're better off than most. I think it's probably easiest to walk from here. You barely see a car in the city centre nowadays, unless you're rich. Oh, the state knows they just aren't practical anymore. We're all trying to meet our global carbon deal. Electric bikes are so much better for getting around our neighbourhood. And why waste valuable space on car parks when you can use them to grow food?
Okay? And we already see in the Green New Deal, they're saying that cows produce so much CO2 that it's bad for the atmosphere. Nature is bad for the atmosphere. Okay, we're a carbon life forms. This planet runs off of carbon. But cows are bad for the... So you can't eat meat anymore. And you know why? Because people that don't have meat in their diet are docile. That's why they put fluoride in your water. Because it's been shown to make you docile and lower your IQ. Because they don't want a thinking society. They want a controlled, obedient society. And they start this off at school. So you voted for a person that comes on national television and molests and gropes and inappropriately touches children on television. You voted for the party of the drag queen story hour, where drag queens come to libraries and schools and read to their children and dress up like crazy demons. I mean, Desmond is amazing. They're a child to cross-dress, twerk, and then they go and have little parties where they have little children dress up and learn how to twerk. And all because they tell you elementary things. I mean, come on. This person's racist. This person's a sexist. This is a bigot. They've been doing this for decades now. And you're still eating it up. And going out into the streets and beating up old men, spitting on women, tearing down your cities, burning things down, burning down black-owned businesses, all because of Black Lives Matter. And you don't see this. And then the person that funds it, George Soros, comes out and says he did the same thing in Ukraine so that they could have a civil war and collapse. And he says, too, I don't care about the good or bad that comes out of it. I'm just there to make money. And now he's over here creating dissidents over here, but you guys don't read. You don't listen. I mean, read the intentional dumbing down of America. So you think that the censorship that's happening right now is going to stop where it is? You know, people's posts being taken down, even the president of the United States posts being removed. It's not going to stop with them. It's going to tighten and tighten. Okay, once you give control over that to somebody, you don't get it back. Okay? I mean, right now, over in the UK, people are being arrested for things that they say on Twitter because it's insensitive. Arrested. I mean, say goodbye to the First Amendment because this is what's going to happen. Okay? The UN is going to start taking control over what can and can't be said over the internet, and you think it's going to stop there? Okay? I mean, most all new appliances now are connected to what they call the IoT or the Internet of Things. Okay? And we've already been, it's already been proven that they're listening to your conversations in your own house. Okay? So dissidence is going to be completely stomped out. Okay? And they say, in order for a world government to be created, people need to get rid of their nationalism, get rid of their sense of family, okay, and identify as a group, get rid of their individuality, okay? And you see that. I saw a Facebook post of somebody said, oh, women fought so hard for the right to vote. Why do they still vote the way that their father or their brother want them to vote? Yeah, why would you vote like the person in your family member that loves you and wants the best for you? You should identify with these green-haired freaks, these man-hating freaks out on the street that want to vote for trans surgery and censorship and locking up people that disagree with them, or vote for one of the biggest companies to ever sacrifice children in the world history. Thousands of babies are being killed. Planned Parenthood, which, by the way, was created by a racist, a total racist. Margaret Sanger wanted to stomp out black people and called them weeds. wanted them pulled out like weeds. In her vaccines, she sterilized them and infected them with syphilis. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is fact. She wrote letters back and forward with Adolf Hitler. And this is your guys' hero. Okay? This is not a joke. This is a spiritual battle. Okay? The world has been flipped upside down. And if you don't look for yourself of who these people are that you are supporting, you're supporting lies and the father of lies, prince of the power of the air that influences the spirit of this generation. Okay? So you're supporting sacrifice, child sacrifice by pedophiles, satanic pedophiles that get together and do these satanic rituals. And there's pictures all over the internet of, Clinton and all these people lying down in mock pools of blood and doing these satanic rituals, getting in there and having, people pretending like they're dead and dismembered and cutting off fingers and stuff like that. This is the party that you support, the party of Jeffrey Epstein. That they go onto airplanes and go down to islands, Lolita Island, Pleasure Island, and go and rape children. This is the party that you represent. And don't even say, oh yeah, Trump was a part of it too. No, he met Jeffrey Epstein at his own place, the Mar-a-Lago resort. And after that, after he saw his behavior, he became an FBI informant. Okay? And started giving information. And this isn't me saying this. This is the prosecutor of the case over Jeffrey Epstein, and said Donald Trump was very beneficial as an FBI informant on getting indictments on Jeffrey Epstein. But you guys, out of your hatred and out of your willful ignorance, you want to elect this party, and it's not going to go back to normal. You're not going to go back to all is good and Instagram selfies and stuff like that. That's not what's going to happen, okay? 4 years ago, this country was going down the drain, okay? People are going to start moving back in with their families because they can't afford to go out and live. Mass homelessness, okay? When you go out and look for a job, the only thing that you're going to find when you've got a degree, is some dark warehouse making $12 an hour. Okay. And when you sit back and you wonder, why is my whole family sitting here living with us? Why is our refrigerator empty? Why is there homeless drug addicts walking around the streets? I want you to remember that you sold our jobs out. You sold our national sovereignty out. You sold our immigration policies out. Okay. And you all gave it to Barabbas. Okay. When we were finally getting our country back together and getting our economy back together, you decided to vote a actual molester of children who does that straight in your face out of your hatred for somebody that a lying group has told you to hate. And Australia right now is doing quarantine camps. So you go into a McDonald's, and this is an actual case, go into a McDonald's and you use the digital menu and you use a QR code, and through the contact tracing methods and apps that they want to use, that they want to implement over here, is that they say somebody was in contact with somebody that could have had COVID. So now we're going to go to your house and we're going to force a test on you. We're going to force a vaccination on you, and if you refuse, you're going into a quarantine camp, and that's what happened in Australia. Now think about just what this contact tracing is. This is an app that not only tracks everywhere that you go, but also tracks everybody that you come in contact with. So what it comes down to is a spiritual battle, okay? Since we were kicked out of Eden, there's been a spiritual battle. And that happens over deception. It always happens like this. God gives his people a nation, and they start off by protecting God's principles, God's laws, and the nation flourishes. And then generation after generation, it devolves, and their people become more decadent, they become lovers of themselves, and they become hateful and spoiled. And the country has been given over to a reprobate and rebellious spirit, protesting naked and calling themselves nasty women, beating up people and taking dumps on cars and just all kinds of filth and vileness, everything that you could imagine. And then their decadence becomes perverse, and they start becoming gay, they start becoming pedophiles, they start sacrificing children. Then God opens the gates and lets their enemies destroy them. And this is what you voted for. You've given up this country to a spirit of defileness and filth, putting up statues of Satan, taking God out of our schools, taking God out of anything that you can imagine. So get ready for a great tribulation, because once our country is fully signed over to the UN, okay, you're going to see forced vaccines, you're going to see quarantine camps, and you're going to see massive internet censorship, you're going to see a cashless society. And when that happens, they're going to move to the second stage, which means the quarantine camps are going to just be re-education camps for people that disagree. So the censorship and the camps are going to create a concentration camp for dissidents. And then the cashless society is going to go into microchips, where they're going to microchip your children and forcibly vaccinate your children. Okay, so get ready for that, because that's what you voted for. And you're all going to go into the mark of the beast system. Okay, and you're not going to be able to buy or sell without that mark. So get ready. This is what you asked for. It's all about free will. And you had the free will, you had all the information you could to stop this. And yet you chose Barabbas. Give us Barabbas.